Welcome. Tonight we present the 400th annual Penny Dreadfuls Radio Horror Classics Halloween Special. 3 hours of old-time radio thriller drama, hosted by Penny Dreadful, award-winning horror movie host and professional witch. My mistress is waiting to welcome you into her chamber of horrors. Or, as she likes to call it, her playroom.
Welcome, my dreary ones, to my special 3-hour Halloween program. Tonight, spells are cast, ghouls and goblins roam, and unspeakable horrors cast a black aura over the land. Or what we witches call Tuesday. By the way, Ron-Ghoul, what's this calling me mistress? I've only known you for a little over 300 years. Anyway, this is All Hallows Eve. I have to pretty myself down so that I can look my worst for the Halloween Witches' Ball to be held this year at the Marshfield VFW. I'm competing again this year for the 2023 to 2024 Most Gruesome Witch of the Year award. I haven't won in the last couple of years since Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert showed up, though.
Shall you be using your broom tonight?
Why, yes, Ron-Ghoul. It could use a good wash and wax job, though. But tonight, our first show stars horror legend Peter Lorre in The Horla, adapted from a short story written by Guy de Maupassant. And now, Mystery in the Air. Ron-Ghoul, where's my mole adder?
Mystery in the Air, starring Peter Lorre, presented by Camel Cigarettes.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 kinds of stories. Those you can take to bed with you and they relax you and put your mind at ease. And then there's the other kind. And our story tonight is the other kind. I still do not know whether it was the shadow of the madness to which the author himself so tragically succumbed, or whether there really was an evil summoning that could not be seen or described. Oh, why don't you decide for yourself? I'm simply going to tell you the facts in a case as set forth by Guy de Maupassant in his immortal story, The Horla.
Each week at this hour, Peter Lorre brings us the excitement of the great stories of the strange and unusual, of dark and compelling masterpieces culled from the 4 corners of world literature. Tonight, The Horla by de Maupassant.
Mystery in the Air, starring Peter Lorre, brought to you by Camel Cigarettes.
May 8, 1889. Oh, what a lovely day it was. I spent all the morning lying in the grass in front of my house, the house in which I was born and grew up. Oh, it's a wonderful house, and I love it. From my windows I can see our great river, the Seine, which flows along the side of my garden, yes. The great, wide Seine, which goes to Rouen and Le Havre and and is covered by boats passing to and fro. Yes, down to the left lies Rouen, and a whole city dominated by the spire of the cathedral and full of bells which sound through the air on fine days, even as far as my home. Oh, what a wonderful morning. I was almost sorry when Marie, she's my housemaid, you know, when she interrupted me.
Your luncheon is ready, monsieur.
Oh, thank you, Marie, but, you know, it seems a pity to go in a house. Say, do you like it here, Marie?
Oh, yes, sir. I like it very much.
Yeah.
I love to watch the boats go by on the Seine.
Oh, you do, huh? So do I. See that one? That big schooner, and it's being pulled by... Look, what a little tug. Oh, look, it's no bigger than a fly.
Isn't it beautiful? So clean and white and
Yes,
shiny.
all white, yes, and she's a three-master, you know. Brazilian, I think, yes. Yes, I can see the flag. It is Brazilian. Oh, she's had a long journey from South America to pass my house.
You love this place very much, don't you, monsieur?
Yes, Marie, I love it. I can feel those deep roots which attach a man to the soil on which his ancestors were born and died, and to the villages, yes, to the atmosphere itself. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you, Marie?
No, sir.
No.
But I do know that if you don't come into the house soon, your luncheon will be cold.
All right, Marie, I'll come in. May 12th. For some reason, I've had a slight feverish attack the last few days, and I feel low-spirited and ill. I have continually a horrible feeling of impending danger, an apprehension of some coming misfortune or of approaching death. I've never experienced anything like this before. If it continues, I think I'll have to see my doctor.
Look, I've told you, your pulse is rapid and your eyes
Yes,
are slightly
yeah.
dilated. Otherwise, you're in splendid condition.
But, Doctor, then why is it when evening comes on, a feeling of oppression seizes me, just as if night concealed something horrible? Why is that?
Probably just a slight attack of indigestion.
Yes, indigestion. Yesterday, when I was walking in the forest of Roumar, why did it suddenly seem to me that I was being followed and that someone was walking at my heels close, quite close to me? He was near enough to touch me, and yet when I turned around, I saw nothing. Nothing behind me but the path between the tall trees. Horribly empty. Can you explain that by indigestion, can you, huh?
Well, here's a bromide. If you'll take it and several cold showers daily, I'm sure your fears will vanish.
Yes, I'm
And
sure.
you'll be able to sleep without any further trouble.
All right, Doctor. Thank you very much. Who's there?
It's I, Marie.
Oh, just a moment. Yes?
Are you all right?
What is it,
Screaming
Marie?
and calling out.
I'm sorry,
Wake the
I must have been
servants.
here having a nightmare. Marie, look,
is
if you
that?
dreamed that someone was looking at you and touching you and taking your neck in his hands and squeezing with all his might in order to strangle you, don't you think you would cry out too, huh?
Yes, sir, I'm sure I
You
should.
see, all right. Just tell the other servants I shall try to be more quiet.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good night.
Hey, look. Look, Marie, my water
A
carafe.
water carafe, monsieur?
Yes, it was full. I know it was full when I went to bed.
Yes, sir, I filled it last night.
Yes, and now it's empty. I haven't touched it, and it's empty.
Yes, sir.
Somebody has drunk the water. Somebody has been in his room. Something drank that water.
I don't know who could have, sir, unless perhaps you yourself in your sleep.
Yes, I myself in my sleep. Of course, that's it. I must have done it myself, Marie, tell him to pack my things. I'm going to Paris. I'm leaving the first thing in the morning. July 12. Paris. Paris, I must have lost my head during the last few weeks. At home, my mental state bordered on madness, for I had believed, yes, I had believed that an invisible being lived beneath my roof. How stupid, how perfectly ridiculous it all seems now, yes. 24 hours in Paris have completely restored my equilibrium, and tonight I'm going to dine at the house of my cousin, Madame Sablé, and, Dr. Parent is going to be there. He's the famous specialist for nervous disorders, and I shall ask him, and I'm sure he can finally put my mind at rest about this silly hallucination. But Dr. Parent, I've been wanting to ask you, have you ever known of a case where a person feels that he is, how shall I put it, and not entirely in command of his soul?
It is curious that you should ask me that.
Why is it curious?
Because now, only now in 1889, after all these years, we are on the verge of discovering one of the most important secrets of nature.
What is that?
Ever since man has thought, he has felt himself close to a mystery which has been impenetrable to his gross and imperfect senses.
Yes. Whatever are you talking about, Dr. Parent?
Apparitions, my dear Madame Sablé. Invisible spirits.
Yes. Oh, you doctors. You're always being mysterious.
Oh, not at all. For more than a century now, men seem to have had a presentiment of something new. Mesmer and some others have put us on an unexpected track, and we have arrived at really surprising results.
Oh, you're just trying to frighten us.
Not at all. If you think so, would you like me to try to send you to sleep, madame?
It would be a novel experience. If you can do it.
And if I can, it will answer your cousin's questions.
Yes, it certainly would.
Now, madame, if you would just sit in this easy chair. So, now you must let your mind go completely blank and look fixedly into my eyes. Yes, that's right. Now, you are going to sleep. To sleep. You're going to sleep. 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 You see, her eyes are becoming heavy. Her mouth is twitching.
That's incredible.
Sleep. You have nothing but...
Doctor, I don't like this. It frightens me.
Sleep. Sleep. Here, now she is asleep. An easy subject, I must say. Now, if you will stand directly behind her chair, I will proceed with the experiment. Now, I hand her an ordinary pasteboard visiting card, so. Now, Madame Sablé, you hold in your hand a looking glass.
Yes. I'm holding a looking glass.
What do you see in it?
I see my cousin standing behind my chair.
Doctor.
What is he doing?
He is twisting his ear.
But, Doctor, she cannot see me behind her by looking at a piece of cardboard.
No, of course she can't. She sees you through her mind. Or someone's mind. This troubles you, doesn't it?
Yes, it troubles me.
But it answers your question.
No, it does not. That's common knowledge, Doctor. It's an axiom that human beings can be dominated by human beings. But what if a human being is dominated by something, by something else, I mean? Something not human. What then, Doctor? August 6th. I'm back at home. Yes, now I know it's useless to struggle. Useless. Somebody possesses my soul and dominates it. Somebody orders all my acts, all my thoughts. I'm nothing except his slave and a terrified spectator of all I do. Yes, but who is he, this invisible being that rules me, this unknowable spirit, this rover of a supernatural race? He must have a name. I know he has. I feel it. I can feel it. And someday it'll come to me. Oh, if I only could leave my house and go away and escape and never return. But it's impossible. This being I cannot call by name, he will not let me. I'm helpless. What can I do? What can I do?
In a few moments, Mr. Peter Lorre will bring us the climax of tonight's Mystery in the Air, when camels present Act 2 of the Horla. Now back to de Maupassant's terrifying story of a man obsessed by the idea that he is dominated by an invisible being. Fear is ruining his life. The suspicion that he is no longer master of his own actions, even of his own soul, is rapidly becoming a certainty.
It's only 2:00, and the whole night is before me. Oh, how still it is. And the stars, how bright they are. Who inhabits those faraway regions, and what do they know that we do not know? Will not one of them someday appear on our earth to conquer it? We are so weak, so defenseless. And what was that? I heard the rustle of paper, yet there's no wind. Absolutely no wind. There. It's that book, yes, the one on the table under the lamp. It's incredible. The page has turned. The page lifted itself up and fell down upon the others as if a finger had turned it over. My armchair appears empty, but no, it isn't. No, he's there. I know he is. Sitting in my place. He's reading. I can't stand it any longer. I'll grasp him and... He ran away. He ran away before I could reach him. He ran away and the window closed after him. He's afraid of me. He's afraid of me. What do you call yourself, you evil shade? Whatever it is, someday I'll catch you and crush you.
Here, come in here.
What?
We heard the noise and we wondered. Another nightmare, monsieur.
No, it's not a nightmare. I was awake. Tell me, Marie, do you believe in invisible things?
Invisible?
Yes, invisible beings that dominate you.
Well, I read an article about that in the paper today.
What did it say?
That somewhere in Brazil, I think, people are frightened, leaving their houses, saying they're pursued by invisible beings which feed on their life while they're asleep.
Yeah?
Like vampires, you know.
Marie, that is where he came from.
Oh, monsieur.
Don't you remember the day we saw that little tug pulling that big Brazilian schooner up the river?
Yes.
Remember, she looked so white, all white, and he was on board. Yes, he came from there where his race originated, and he saw me, and he saw my white house, and he sprang from the ship. Oh, now I understand. Don't you? Don't you?
No, monsieur, I don't.
No, you couldn't. It's all right, Marie. Go to bed. There's nothing wrong. Don't worry anymore. Go back to sleep. Go. Yes, now I know. How can I help it, knowing it's obvious? Yes, the rule of man is over, and he has come. He has arrived. But what is his name? What do you call yourself? What's that? No, I know he's shouting it out. Yes, I listened. Huh? Horla. That's it, yes. No. Horla. Yes, the Horla. He haunts me. He is within me. He's becoming my soul. I shall kill him.
There, monsieur.
What?
The iron shutters on the windows and door complete.
All right.
Know why anybody wants half-inch iron shutters in their bedroom is more than I can see. Well, at least it'll keep everything
I don't want to keep things out. I want to keep something in. Never mind. If you're finished, you take your tools and go. My housekeeper will pay you.
Yes, monsieur. Good day, monsieur.
Good day. Now I'm ready. Yes, tonight he'll come. But tonight I'm ready for him. I'm ready for him. He's here, yes. I feel it. At last he's here, but I don't want to alarm him. I'll casually close the iron shutter so casually as if I'm preparing for bed. And now I'll start to close the iron doors as if I'm shutting myself in for the night. But instead of shutting myself in, I'll shut myself out. Yes, it's down. He's inside. He cannot escape. Downstairs, yes, as fast as I can run. Oh, good, the lamp is still burning. Oh, yes, fire, that'll dispose of him. Fire. Oh, see, the house is dry as tinder. Won't take long. See, the flames are reaching the ceiling already. I'd better get out before I burn myself up, too. Here, I can watch from here. How slow the house is burning. Don't you suppose? No, there, yes. A tongue of flame licking out on the top of the window. And another, and another. See it burn. My house, my beautiful house. But it's more beautiful. It's now in flames because he's inside. And he'll burn too, yes. And I'll be free of the Horla forever.
Fire! The house is on fire!
Yes.
Get some water, somebody!
Yes, it's burning. Let it burn. Oh, now the whole place is in flames. Nothing can stop it.
That's Marie, the servants in the garret. They'll be killed. Here, stand back, all of you. The roof's going to cave in.
Look.
Oh, the poor devils, we got to get some help.
Yes.
Get them out of there.
It's lighting up the whole countryside. A monstrous, beautiful funeral pyre. And he's burning too. My prisoner, that new being, that new master, the Horla. The roof has fallen in. The roof has fallen in. It's over. That is the end for him. He's dead. Yes, but is he dead? No. A spirit would never fear premature destruction. Only we fear it. All our human terror springs from that, and well, then after man, what? The Horla, yes. After us, who can die any day by any accident, comes he who can die only at his own proper hour. because he has touched the limits of his existence. No, he is not dead. Well, what can I do? What can I do? Oh, there's one thing I can do. I can destroy myself. Yes, I must destroy myself. I'm going to destroy myself. Destroy. Yes, let me go. Yes, I know I'm Peter Lorre. I know it's a story. I know it's by the Maupassant. Yes, I know it's Thursday night and we are on the air, but it's the Horla. I beg your pardon. I'm sorry I got so excited, but I warned you at the beginning. It's a very uncomfortable story.
Next week, Mystery in the Air, starring Mr. Peter Lorre, brings you Beyond Good and Evil by Ben Hecht, with a special musical score composed and conducted by Paul Barron.
Listen again next week at this same time when the makers of Camel cigarettes present Mr. Peter Lorre in Mystery in the Air. Next week's play will be Beyond Good and Evil by Ben Hecht. The artists supporting Mr. Lorre tonight were Henry Morgan as the voice of Mystery, Peggy Weber as Marie, Lorene Tuttle as Madame Sablé, Ken Christie as the Doctor, Ben Wright as Dr. Parent, Howard Culver and Jack Edwards Jr. This is Michael Roy in Hollywood wishing you a pleasant good night for Camel.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Peter, calm down. I'm telling Peter Lorre to calm down. Hey, you try it. Good luck with that. I only have a few more hours to be ready at midnight. Where's my L'Oreal Pallor of Death makeup kit? Well, my dreary ones, our next program is from the Inner Sanctum Mysteries, a rather appropriate title, Corpses for Halloween.
Good evening, friends. This is your host to welcome you through the creaking door into the inner sanctum. Come on in. One prankish little fellow, whom we shall call Maniac, for lack of a stronger word, just set fire to the walls. He said a closed room made him feel confined. As a result, 4 other characters are slightly burned up now.
Tonight's Inner Sanctum Mystery, Corpse for Halloween, was written by John Robert and stars Larry Haynes in the role of Jimmy with Barry Kroger as Kavanaugh.
And now, let's unhinge our minds a little. After all, what's a little insanity among friends? Tonight's story dramatizes the fanatical hold of memory. The one scene, the one fragment that plays and replays over and over again in your mind. The one terror that's with you when you dine and when you walk and when you sleep.
Sleep. Who can sleep? I'm here in the 35-cent flop, but I'm in the Burma jungle.
watching a scene that never gets stale, even though it's 5 years old. I can hear sounds travel across the brush. I pick them up as if on the receiving set. Animal sounds. And I see, as if my eyes are in the sky, I see 2 grim figures standing with their rifles aimed at a pair of jungle beasts, a tiger and its mate, in a crouch, ready to jump. They fire point blank together as if by signal. No good. They miss. The beasts roar and leap. I hear them scream out, Kavanaugh and Dr. Dolan. Just before they die. 5 years. And you've been everywhere trying to forget. And you almost do forget. But it edges right back into your mind by itself. Like when a guy suddenly sneaks up on you in the night.
Do you have a match?
What?
Do you have a match?
Oh, yeah, sure. You popped up on me so suddenly.
You're a nervous man. Thank you. I have a parcel with me. For you.
For me? What are you kidding?
No. I have a parcel for you. Here, take it.
Wait a minute. Hey, wait! But he's gone. Just the way he came. As if he's a chip off my sanity. As if there'd been nobody. But there is a package left with me. The mind doesn't dream up a package. A cardboard box, heavy kind of. And tissue, lots of tissue around something that had the feel of a head. It is a head. The stuffed head of a jungle tiger. Its mouth fixed in the snarl that sends the blood hammering to my head. Doesn't make sense. No good figuring it out. Toss it into the river, box and all, and get away. Get among the people. Yeah, Rocco's. Go to Rocco's. Get the jukebox going and slip into a fog. Coffee, Rocco.
Jimmy, I got something for you.
For me, Rocco?
A package. A guy come in before and leaves a package for you. See? Jimmy Fox. Your name on it.
My name? My name's Jimmy Scott. You know that.
Scott, yes, but the man says your name is also Jimmy Fox. He says he knows.
He knows? I took the package outside into the night, into an alleyway. Another cardboard box, heavy. And tissue, lots of tissue around something that had the feel of a head. It was a head, but not a tiger's this time. It was a human skull. It shone with a hard white light where the moon touched it. And then it seemed to speak.
You have a match?
What?
You're being an idiot. It isn't the skull talking to you, it's me.
You? Where are you?
I'm behind you.
I don't see you.
It's because you're afraid to. See me now?
Yeah. A black suit and a face grinning at me like a laughing mask.
It is a laughing mask.
Well, why are you wearing a mask?
Why not? Tonight's Halloween.
Halloween? Sure. Halloween. And not everybody plays jokes. Oh, gosh, I should have remembered it was Halloween.
Can you identify the skull?
Identify? Look, what kind of a gag are you trying to...
Suppose I give you an hour to identify the skull. It's 8 now. Until 9 o'clock then, Jimmy.
Wait! Hey, wait! He was gone again. As if there'd been nobody. Just another big chip off my sanity. I really had to get away from myself now. I hit the back streets, and then somewhere a big neon sign across a tenement pulled me off the sidewalk. It read, the Tillery Street Boys Neighborhood Association. Halloween costume ball. Public invited. A girl in a booth, masked like a witch, stopped me at the door.
Mask, mister?
Mask. Oh, sure. Give me one.
Black, green, yellow, or purple? What's your favorite color?
Yellow.
Here you are. 50 cents.
There you are.
Oh,
Oh, what?
just a description left with me. I'd almost forgotten. Are you Jimmy Fox?
Suppose I was Jimmy Fox. What about it?
This grocery bag was left here for you. A man told me to tell you. You forgot it somewhere. And he said that he'd meet you one place or another later. Here, take it. By the shape of it, I'd say you had a Halloween pumpkin inside.
What if I told you there was a human skull inside that grocery bag? He'd meet me one place or another. He did. He was under a street lamp, waiting for me to happen along.
Hello, Jimmy. Have you dared to call the skull by name yet? Or must I?
Look, that gag isn't paying off, mister. All right, go ahead. You call it by name.
Dolan. Boxer Dolan, remember him?
I never knew the guy. You no doubt got me confused.
Have I, Jimmy? You've changed your appearance cleverly, except for one thing disguise could never conceal.
One thing?
Your guilt. You wear it like a badge of shame.
Oh, what am I guilty of?
Murder. 2 men left an encampment in the Burma jungle just before dawn. 2 men. Boxer Dolan and Kavanaugh. A 3rd man remained behind. He played sick, pretended to fever. The 3rd man was you, Jimmy. Must I tell you the rest?
Tell me the rest.
Dolan and Kavanaugh carried rifles in the event of a jungle encounter. There was a jungle encounter, a tiger and its mate. An emergency, but an easy one to resolve for 2 expert hunters. Just 1 shot apiece, and there'd be 2 more dead tigers. Just 1 shot apiece. They had their 1 shot apiece, but the tigers didn't drop dead in their tracks. Instead, Boxer Dolan and Kavanaugh dropped. Ask me what happened, Jimmy.
What happened?
During the night, someone had emptied their rifle loads and substituted blank bullets. You did that, Jimmy. You engineered the murder of 2 men. You murdered your 2 partners in crime. Just 1 day's push from the Hindu temple you'd all teamed up to loot. They got within 24 hours of treasure, and then you murdered them. 1 more day to the temple, so why split 3 ways, huh?
Know about the temple. But I never pushed on to that temple. No loot, no nothing. How about that?
You lost your nerve. You just hadn't counted on losing your nerve.
What are you, a detective?
No. I'm your 2nd victim on Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh? But Kavanaugh was killed.
Unfortunately for you, he wasn't. I'll show you what I had to survive. Feel my sleeve.
Feel it. It's empty.
Torn out of the socket. Now, the face behind this laughing gargoyle I wear. See the left profile. Oh, it isn't pretty, is it? The eye's gone, too. I spent 5 years finding you, Jimmy. I've waited a long time to let you see my face.
You came after me to kill me?
After you've had the same 24 hours you arranged that Dolan and I would have.
What do you mean, the same 24 hours?
Unarmed, in the jungle, and helpless. I'm going to hunt you for 24 hours. In this jungle, the jungle of the city, with every beast of prey I can buy. I'm going to hunt you, Jimmy. And in the end, when I've wrung every suffering from you, I'm going to kill you.
What do you mean? Every beast of prey you can buy.
The denizens of the city jungle, the riffraff, the murderers, the men and women who buy and sell murder. I can afford them, Jimmy. See this, Ruby?
Is it real?
And I have dozens, Jimmy, dozens. I didn't lose my nerve. It's 10 o'clock. You can go now. Go and see if you can escape me and my pack.
You're going through with this?
Get along, Jimmy. Hurry. The beasts will be coming at you from the sewers and the cellars, ambushing you from the shadows, into the dawn and through the day for 24 hours, until 10 tomorrow night. Or you win. You live. Hurry, Jimmy. See how painful death can be.
That Kavanaugh's one fella I never want to hunt me up. No, sir. That guy slays for creeps. 24 hours. Kavanaugh's got 24 hours to kill, and Jimmy has just enough time to die. Yes, you know, Jimmy might win out over Kavanaugh. Now that he's got an extra skull to go with the one he's stuck with. After all, 2 heads are better than 1. Let's live out the terror now, shall we?
An animal game of murder for 24 hours. I was to be hunted down in a jungle where human beasts came at you from the sewers and cellars, where killers in the hire of a homicidal lunatic lay in ambush. Well, I had to win. I had to save myself. I had to. Hide. The thing to do was to hide, fade into an alleyway and find a cellar and stay put for 24 hours. Just stay put. With the sickening reek of garbage cans until 10 tomorrow night. Was I alone? Movement. There was a whispering movement somewhere in the cellar. A faint rattle of ash cans, as if the wind was rattling them. Wind in an airtight cellar. Hello? Anybody there? No answer. I'd been imagining. But then something winged at me, goring into my shoulder, sharp and deadly like a knife. I came to, bleeding from a shoulder gash. I got out of there and back into the streets, into a jungle of faces. It was Halloween night like I'd never seen it. Masks and costumes on kids of 6 and old crones of 60. A crazy jungle of witches and snarling sea captains and lunatics. They couldn't all be in the hire of Kavanaugh. And then, where a fence was plastered with circus posters of jungle animals, a zany-looking guy was shooting from the hip at the poster while making menacing faces like a bad man. I caught a whiff of powder in the night air. The shot had burned into the poster. I crept up behind him. Faking a gun with my fist in my coat pocket, I rammed against his back. Get him up, pal.
I got nothing to understand this.
Your gun. I want your gun. Hand it over.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Now walk. Walk up the block and don't turn back to look. I had a gun now, and the tables were turned. I was the hunter now. I drifted to the docks and took up a position with my back to the river.
Thinking of suicide, Jimmy?
Not anymore, Kavanaugh.
You sound as if your morale had suddenly improved.
My morale's going great, Kavanaugh. Your animal hunt's about to boomerang, blow right up in your face like this. Who's hunting who, Kavanaugh? Who's hunting who? Kavanaugh kept standing up. 3 bullets, point blank, enough to blow his head off, but Kavanaugh kept standing up unharmed.
How does it feel to hunt game with blank cartridges like Boxer Dolan and I did once?
Blank cartridges? But that crazy-looking guy, I saw him burn a hole in the circus poster.
Only 1 bullet. The first one was real. Simple?
Yeah, simple. I get it. Dead-Eye Dick was another one of your beasts.
Who's hunting who, Jimmy? Who's hunting who?
Kavanaugh! Kavanaugh, wait! Kavanaugh, kill me! Get it over with and kill me now, will you? Kavanaugh, you gotta kill me! I had to get out of there. The subway. Yeah, the subway. Fade into the subway. Get on a train and ride to the end of the line. Ride out of the jungle. An empty station. No one in it. No someone. Two people. A dapper little guy buried behind a newspaper. And an old lady in ragged clothes carrying a pet half hidden under a coat. A pet that looked like a cat. She came up to me, close, like to ask me something.
This side goes to Lefferts Avenue Station?
Lefferts, I don't know. I'm a stranger here.
Oh, hush, Genevieve. Oh, Genevieve is hungry.
That's not a cat?
No, son. A cub. A tiger cub.
A tiger cub?
Would you like to stroke Genevieve?
No.
Don't run away, son. Genevieve won't hurt.
I ran away with the old crone after me, hobbling in her skirts, and the little dapper guy behind the newspaper circling at me from the opposite direction, cornering me. I jumped to the tracks, my only out, and I ran. I ran deep into the bowels of the subway, deep, very deep, with the little dapper guy after me, as if he meant business. And then the train. It had a Halloween look, too, bearing down on me. An iron face with banjo eyes. I ran against the wall and flattened out. The train flashed past and the dapper little guy screamed. Kavanaugh was shy, one beast in this jungle. The little guy had been hit glancingly and hurled against the subway wall, pulverized. I got to him quickly and frisked him. I had a gun now. A gun with bullets that killed. I ran a half mile underground to another station, and then back on the streets. Back in the animal game. It was 3 a.m. A neon sign read, Tillery Street Boys Neighborhood Association. Halloween costume party. People were straggling out. The fun was over. What?
You remember me?
No.
I'm the witch who gave you a free mask and a grocery bag that you forgot somewhere. And you're Jimmy Fox.
Jimmy Scott. I used to be Jimmy Fox. Sister, are you all right?
Am I all right?
I mean, are you just what you look? A sweet kid with brown eyes and a heart.
Are you drunk?
No, beat. I'm dead beat. I've got to hole up somewhere, get some shut-eye. I've got to or I'll die.
You're sick?
Yeah, I'm sick. If I could just sleep around the clock until 10 tomorrow night. If an angel came along and said, come home with me, I'll put you up.
Come home with me, Jimmy. I'll put you up.
I fell asleep on the sofa with the gun under my pillow and the girl on a chair watching me anxiously. I had a friend. I could drop off and live in dreamland until 10 that night. At 10, I could wake up and live. Coming awake, I heard the alarm we'd set go off. The alarm stopped. There was a sound. An animal sound. And then a claw scratching at me, tearing at my cheek. And I jumped up. The girl was gone. A guy was sitting watching me now. A skinny kid with a heavy shock of hair, not a day over 21.
Oh, that's a lousy way to have to wake up from a sleep, pal.
Lousy way. There was an animal clawing at me. My cheek's bleeding.
Genevieve, she isn't housebroken. Still a little wild. You should have seen her dash for the kitchen when you let out a scream just now.
Genevieve. Who are you?
You're Jimmy Fox, huh?
Yeah.
I got something for you.
For me?
Yeah, it was given to me to give to you. Here.
A ruby. Hey, wait a minute, look. It's 10 o'clock. I set the alarm for 10 and it's 10.
Well, it's only a quarter of. That clock's always 15 minutes ahead.
Now the game's over. It's 10 and you can't cheat. I've won, Kavanaugh. You can't go back on your promise, Kavanaugh. You can't.
What are you trying to get over, pal? I don't
I've won. You can't cheat. I won't be tricked.
A gun. Pal, you're crazy. Here, wait, look. Oh! You're crazy.
It's 10 and I won't be tricked, Kavanaugh. I've won. I'm still on the sofa. My arms are rigid, and my legs rigid. Like something exploded inside me and paralyzed my nerves. I can just look and hear. She's in the room now. The girl with her sweet face and brown eyes. Only her eyes are red, swollen from crying. I hear her talking to a cop. He's taking down what she says.
He was a stray. He was like a sick dog in the street. So I picked him up and brought him home.
Yes, why did he kill your brother, Buddy?
I don't know. I was taking a shower, and I heard him scream like a crazy man. I heard him talk all mixed up. But I was taking a shower, and I couldn't get here in time.
There must be something you can tell me, miss.
Oh, officer, everything is so mixed up. At the Tillery Street costume ball, a man gave me a cap with tiger stripes, and he begged me to keep it for him for a while until he found a new home for it. He'd been evicted, he said.
Yes?
Well, then, in the all-night restaurant my brother works in, a man gave Buddy a ruby to give to Jimmy Fox when he woke up. He told my brother the ruby belonged to Jimmy Fox.
This piece of glass?
Yes.
That's something off the Woolworth dime counter. What else?
That's all. Really, that's all.
I watch and I hear. I see through Kavanaugh's trick. Get me crazy, so I'll murder a stranger who called himself Buddy. The brother of a girl with brown eyes and a heart. Flame me, so I'll just want to die. Through weeks of a murder trial and months in the death house and 4 minutes in the death chair. I kept listening to them talk. The girl and the cop.
Okay. We'll have to get the rest from Jimmy Fox there. Look at him. He's paralyzed with fright. I wonder what kind of a crazy Halloween story he's going to try to palm off on us when we get him talking. Captain Devereux speaking. McAvoy, send a police ambulance to 445 10th Street, apartment 3 rear. And McAvoy, see that a straitjacket's on that ambulance.
Well, quite a chase. It got so poor Jim didn't know whether he was coming or going. Nuts. What got his goat most was the way he kept seeing animals everywhere. Very confusing to a guy on the lam. Yeah, it got so he couldn't tell who's zoo. Moral? Oh, sure. I read this Halloween notice on a tree somewhere. Never hunt out of reason. Good night. Pleasant dreams.
And now to add lip gloss. Let's see, here it is, Vampire's Blood Drip. Oh, how appropriate. Our next show is what Boris Karloff would call a thriller. From 1938, a truly haunting version of Bram Stoker's Dracula, as heard on the Mercury Theatre, starring Orson Welles as Dracula. Despite the age of this recording, like me, it still horrifies and sends a chill up your spine.
The Columbia Network takes pride in presenting Orson Welles in the first production of a unique new summer series by the Mercury Theatre on the Air. Mercury Theater on the Air presents Orson Welles as Count Dracula in his own version of Bram Stoker's great novel, Dracula.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Arthur Seward. I'm here tonight to bear witness to the truth of certain events which you may find it hard to believe, but I ask you to believe them. I have here certain documents, telegrams, clippings from the press of the day, memoranda, and letters in various hands. All needless matters have been eliminated, so that a history almost at variance with the possibilities of contemporary belief may stand forth as simple fact. I present you first with excerpts from the private journal of Jonathan Harker.
I, Jonathan Harker, lawyer's clerk, article to Peter Hawkins, Esquire of Exeter, England, am writing this journal in the hope that if misfortune overtakes me, it may one day come to the eyes of those who love me. I set out from London on the last day of April to visit one of our clients in Eastern Europe. On May the 3rd, I arrived in Budapest and came after nightfall to Klausenburg on the borders of Transylvania. At Bistritz, there was a letter of welcome for me from our client, informing me that his carriage would await me at the Borgo Pass. It was signed Dracula. There seemed to be some excitement among the passengers. They kept speaking to the driver and looking at me and urging him on to greater speed. The crazy coach rocked on its great leather string. The mountains seemed to come nearer to us on either side. Coachman! Coachman! What is it? Where are we?
You're nearing your destination, young hare. This is the Borgo Pass.
Clouds overhead, and in the air the heavy, oppressive sense of thunder. Now, we were through the pass.
The young hare is not expected after all.
You are early tonight, my friend.
A caleche with 4 horses are drawn up beside us.
Let me help you, sir.
The coachman smiled, and the lamplight fell on a hard-looking mouth with very red lips and sharp-looking teeth as white as ivory. We began to move. I looked back. The coach and its load of passengers had vanished from sight. We swept into the darkness of the pass. I struck a match. It was within a few minutes of midnight. And then a dog began to howl somewhere far down the road. The wind was rising. It moaned and whistled through the rocks, and the branches of the trees clashed together as we swept along. It grew colder and colder still, and fine powdery snow began to fall. The baying of wolves sounded nearer and nearer, as though they were closing round us to every side. We kept on ascending, always ascending. The howling of wolves was growing less. Presently, it ceased altogether. And just then, the moon broke through the black clouds. I saw around us a ring of wolves running alongside the carriage. In silence, with white teeth and lolling red tongues, with long sinewy limbs and shaggy hair.
Welcome to my house.
I must have fallen asleep. The carriage had pulled up in the courtyard of a vast ruined castle. The coachman was nowhere to be seen.
Welcome to my house. Come freely, go safely, and leave something of the happiness you bring.
Count Dracula?
I am Dracula.
The face was strong, very strong, aquiline. The mouth, so far as I could see under the heavy mustache, was fixed and rather cruel looking, with peculiarly sharp white teeth.
You hear them, Mr. Harker?
The wolves?
The children of the night, as you say, Mr. Harker. The wolves. Listen. Come now. There are many things you must tell me tomorrow. Of England and of the estate there you have purchased for me.
Yes.
The estate is called Carfax, I believe.
Yes, that is so.
But now I will detain you no longer. You will find your room in readiness. And I advise you not to leave it during the night.
This castle is on the very edge of a terrible precipice. A stone falling from the window would fall 1,000 feet without touching anything. I explored. There are doors everywhere, and all of them locked. The door to the great hall, the door to the courtyard, every door in the castle is closed, bolted against me. The castle of Dracula is a prison, and I am a prisoner. The next night, I couldn't sleep. So after a few hours, I got up and, lighting my candle, I placed my shaving mirror on the dressing table and was just beginning to shave.
You seem restless, Mr. Harker.
I hadn't seen him, although the reflection of the glass covered the whole room behind me. I turned to the glass again. I could see him over my shoulder, but there was no reflection of him in the mirror. It was blank. I started and cut myself on the side of the throat. The blood was trickling down my neck. Hound, my mirror!
The blood! The blood! Wipe the blood from your face, Mr. Harker. And take care how you cut yourself. It is more dangerous than you think in this country.
When I woke, I found most of my things were gone. My passport, my notes, my letter of credit. I could find no trace of them anywhere. And my door is locked from the outside. June 20th. There is work of some kind going on in the castle. Now and then I hear the faraway muffled sound of mattock and spade. And last night, the second of the predated letters which Dracula made me write, the second of that series which is to blot out the very traces of my existence from the earth, went forth. Count Dracula.
Yes, my young friend.
Well, what of me? When am I free? When can I leave this place?
Free? Mr. Harker, you're always free. You want to leave? Would you like to leave tonight?
Yes, in God's name.
My dear young friend, not an hour shall you wait in my house against your will. Come, follow me. The door seems to be bolted. How strange. The door is locked.
Well, in God's name, open it.
As you will, Mr. Harker. You English have a proverb which is very close to my heart. Welcome the coming, speed the parting guest. Good night, Mr. Harker.
Shut the door! Shut the door! I tell you, shut the door! Shut!
The door is shut, Mr. Harker. I take it you will remain.
Morning, June the 30th. These may be the last words I ever write in this diary. Oh, God preserve my sanity. I have never seen Count Dracula by day. At sunrise, at the first cockcrow, he is gone. I do not understand these things. I only know that the wolves obey him, and that he is a man with hair on the palm of his hands, with sharp teeth, and no blood in his face. He casts no shadow. He cannot be seen in a glass. And he moves like a bat across the sheer face of the castle walls. He eats no food and is mortally afraid of the crucifix. As I write this, I hear in the courtyard the rolling of heavy wheels and the cracking of whips. And there is in the passageway below a sound of heavy boxes being set down. Boxes shaped like coffins. And I know what they hold. The boxes are filled with holy earth from the chapel beneath the castle. It is the last box being nailed down. And now I hear the heavy feet tramping again. The door shut. The chains rattle. In the courtyard and down the rocky way, the roll of heavy wheels, the crack of whips. Help! 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 The wagons have gone. I'm alone in the castle. I'm alone in the castle. I'm alone in the castle. I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Seward. Mr. Harker's journal terminates at this point. I now present in evidence a clipping dated August 8th of that year from the Yorkshire Telegraph from our correspondent in Whitby. One of the greatest and suddenest storms on record was experienced here today. The weather has been somewhat sultry, but Saturday evening was fine. The band was playing. The piers were crowded with holidaymakers. The wind fell away entirely during the evening, and there was a dead calm. There were but few lights at sea. The only sail noticeable was a foreign schooner under full canvas, which was seemingly going westward. A little after midnight came a strange sound from over the sea, and high overhead the air began to carry a strange, faint, hollow booming. Then, without warning, the tempest broke. And there, with all sails set, was the foreign schooner rushing with terrific speed toward the shore. A searchlight was turned on her. And there, lashed to the helm, was a corpse with drooping head which swayed horribly to and fro at each motion of the ship. A moment later, she crashed. And then a strange thing was seen. At the very instant she touched, a huge dog sprang up on deck from below and, running forward, jumped from the bow onto the sand and, making straight up the east cliff toward the graveyard, vanished into the night. The Coast Guard, going aboard at dawn, found the dead man fastened to a spoke of the wheel. Tightly clutched in one hand was a crucifix. The man must have been dead for quite 2 days. In the pocket of the dead man's coat was found a bottle, carefully corked, containing a roll of paper. This proved to be an addendum to the ship's log. There was found on board only a small amount of cargo, and that of a most unusual nature. Apparently the ship carried nothing but earth. Common earth. Packed away in wooden boxes, shaped much like coffins.
Of the Demeter, July 6th. Finished taking in cargo, a queer cargo, boxes of earth. At noon, set sail, east wind, fresh. Crew, 4 hands, 2 mates, cook, and myself, captain, July 11th. Entered Bosporus. At dark, passed through Dardanelles. Mate reported in morning that one of crew, Valjoden, was missing.
Took larboard watch 8 bells last night. He was relieved by Chilicia. Never came to his bunk.
Something aboard this ship.
No. Don't laugh, Captain. In the rain last night. A tall, thin man go up companionway and along the deck forward and disappeared. When I go to the bow, no one. And the hatchways all closed.
July 22nd. Rough weather last 3 days. All hands busy with sails. No time be frightened. Past Gibraltar and out through straits. All well. July 24th. Last night, another hand was lost. Disappeared.
By Chilicia. Leave off watch midnight. Then we never see him again. Double watch now. I don't take watch alone no more. Double watch. Double watch.
July 29th. Had single watch tonight as crew too tired to double. When morning come... Hey! Hey, Milo! Banoitin! Banoitin! Is Banoitin below?
Banoitin's gone! Banoitin's gone like the others. Like all the others.
The mate and I have agreed to go armed henceforth, July 30th. Last night, We are nearing England. Weather fine. All sails set.
Captain! Captain! The man in the watch in the stairs was missing! Both missing!
Now, only self and mate and one hand left to work ship. August 3rd. 2 days of fog and not a sail sighted. At midnight, I went to relieve the man at wheel, and when I got to it, found no one there.
It's here! I know it now. I saw it. Like a man, tall and thin and ghastly pale. It was in the bows looking out. I gave it the knife, and my knife went through it.
What?
Empty as air.
What is it? What are you talking about?
It's here, and I'll find it. It's in the hold. In one of those boxes of earth. I'll unscrew them one by one and see. And see.
He is mad. Stark raving mad. It's no use my trying to stop him. He can't hurt those big boxes. They are invoiced as common earth.
I know the secret now. The sea will save me from him. That's all that's left. That's all that's left.
August 4th. I am all alone on my ship. And still the fog. I dared not go below. I dared not leave the helm. So here all night I stayed. And in the dimness of the night, I saw it. I saw him. God forgive me, but the mate was right to jump overboard. It was better to die like a sailor in the blue water. But I am captain, and I must not leave my ship. I shall tie my hands to the wheel when my strength begins to fail. And along with them I shall tie that which it dare not touch, my crucifix. I am growing weaker, and the night is coming on. God and the Blessed Virgin help a poor ignorant soul trying to do his duty.
Telegram, Seaward, Pursuit, to Van Helsing, Amsterdam. Lucy Westenra in alarming condition. Cannot diagnose. Come at once. Seward.
Telegram, Van Helsing, Amsterdam, to Seward, Pursuit. I'm on my way to you. Please arrange the examination immediately my arrival, Van Helsing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I must now explain that 6 months before the events recorded here, I had become engaged to a young lady, Lucy Westenra. We were to have been married in the spring. My old teacher, Professor Van Helsing, arrived at 4 the next afternoon. I took him at once to Lucy's house. She lay in a bed asleep. She was ghastly, chalkily pale. The red seemed to have gone even from her lips and gums, and the bones of her face stood out.
Young Miss is bad. Very bad. She must have blood or she will die. Yet she is not anemic. The qualitative analysis of her blood gives quite normal condition. It is strange. I do not like to think how strange. Look! My God, her throat, look!
The black velvet band that she always wore had dragged up a little and showed a red mark on her throat. Just over the external jugular vein were 2 punctures, not large, but not wholesome looking. The edges were white and worn looking. Well? Well, what is it, Professor? What's wrong with her? Speak frankly. You can tell me the worst.
I wish I could, Stuart. I wish I could. But I do not dare.
But won't you tell me anything?
I will tell you this. Your young lady is in a danger greater than death. You must believe me. If you leave her for 1 moment and harm befalls, you will not sleep easy thereafter.
Number 8. I sat up all night with Lucy.
Arthur, I'm afraid.
Night, dear. You can sleep tonight. I'm here watching you. Nothing can happen. And I promise if any sign of bad dreams, if I see anything, I'll wake you at once.
Will you really? Then I'll sleep.
I sat all night by her bedside. And she did not wake once during the night, although a boughs or a bat or something flapped almost angrily against the window panes. September 11th. Still quoting from my private journals. At this time that I received a message from Purfleet. Read 10:20 p.m. St. John's Hospital, serious complications, case 891, your immediate presence, London, imperative. I had no choice. Sometime later, a paper was found among Lucy Westenra's belongings.
I write this and leave it to be seen so that no one may by any chance get into trouble through me. I went to bed as usual, taking care that the window was closed, as Dr. Van Helsing had directed. About 2 in the morning, I awakened. I went to the door, called out, "Arthur! Arthur!" There was no answer. Something's broken the window. I'm in the room, alone. I dare not go out. The house seems empty. The air is full of specks, floating, circling in the draught from the window. The light burns blue, dim. What am I to do? Something very sweet and very bitter all around me. And I seem sinking into deep water.
You shall be flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood.
September 12th. Late. Only resolution and habit can let me make an entry tonight. We found her sprawled on the floor. There was a draft in the room from the broken window. Her throat was bare, showing the 2 wounds, looking horribly white and mangled.
We are too late, my friend. We have failed. God's will be done.
She's dying.
Yes. She's dying. Stay beside her. It will make much difference, mark me, whether she dies conscious or in her sleep.
It was late in the afternoon before she opened her eyes.
Arthur, oh, my love, I'm so glad you've come.
I took her hand and knelt beside her. Her breath came and went like a tired, peaceful child's. And then the light from the setting sun fell on her face, and then, insensibly, a strange change came over her. Her eyes grew suddenly dull and hard. Her breathing was heavy, the mouth opened, and the pale gums drawn back made the teeth look large and sharp.
Arthur, oh, my love, I'm so glad you've come. Kiss me. Bend down and kiss me.
Not for your life. Not for your living soul and hers. Lucy!
She's dead.
Poor girl. There's peace for her at last. The end.
Not so. It is only the beginning. Wait and see.
Westminster Gazette, September 25th. A Hempstead mystery. The Kensington Horror, the stabbing woman, and the woman in black are vividly recalled to mind by a series of events that have taken place recently in the neighborhood of Hempstead. Several cases have occurred of young children straying from home or failing to return from their playing on the heath. In all these cases, the children, have given as their excuse that they have been with a beautiful lady who offered them chocolates. In each case, the child was found to be slightly torn or wounded in the throat. The wound seemed such as might be made by a rat or a small dog.
The Hempstead Horror. Another child injured by the beautiful lady. We have just received intelligence that another child missed last night was only discovered late in the morning. It has the same tiny wound in the throat. Well, Stuart, what do you think of that? You mean to tell me, my friend, that you still have no suspicion as to what poor Lucy died of?
Nervous prostration, following great loss and waste of blood.
And how was the blood lost or wasted? You are a clever man, my friend, and a good doctor. But you do not believe that there are things that you cannot understand. You are wrong, Stuart. Are you aware of all the mysteries of life and death? Can you tell me why in the pampas there are bats that come at night and open the veins of cattle and horses and suck dry those veins? How in some islands of the western seas there are bats which hang on trees all day, and then when the sailors sleep on deck because it is hot, flit down on them, and then in the morning are found dead men as white as Miss Lucy was?
I understand none of these things.
Up to tonight, Stuart. If you dare to come with me, perhaps then you will understand.
September 29th. Before dawn. Now it is done. And I would sooner die 1,000 deaths than live again through what I did this night.
We will spend the night, you and I, here in this churchyard where Miss Lucy is buried. We enter the tomb, then we open the coffin. You shall yet be convinced.
Take care, Van Helsing.
Miss Lucy is dead, is it not so? Then there can be no wrong to her. But if she is not dead...
With some difficulty, we found the Westenra tomb. I took up my place behind a yew tree. On one side of the tomb, Van Helsing on the other. I was chilled and frightened. Suddenly, I saw something moving between two yew trees. A dim, white figure which held something at its breast. The figure stopped. I could not see the face, for it was bent down over what I saw to be a fair-haired child. There was a sharp little cry, such as a child gives in sleep, or a dog as it lies before the fire and dreams. Then the thing saw us. She drew back with an angry snarl. The lovely blood-stained mouth grew to an open square. If ever a face meant death, I saw it at that moment. Then suddenly she turned and vanished in the direction of the tomb.
The child is not harmed. We leave him in a safe place where the police find him. There's more to do. Come.
Now we were in the tomb. Then in the coffin, the thing lay. Like a nightmare of Lucy, the pointed teeth, the blood-stained mouth. Van Helsing never looked up. From his bag he took out a book, his operating knives, a heavy hammer, and a round wooden stake, some 2 or 3 inches thick, sharpened to a fine point, and hardened over a fire.
Stuart! The life of this unhappy woman is just begun. When she become what you call undead, there comes with the change the curse of immortality. She cannot die, but must go on age after age, adding new victims. Because all that die from the preying of the undead become themselves undead and prey on others. So the circle goes on, ever widening as the ripples from a stone thrown in the water. But if this lady, this undead, be made to rest as true dead, then the soul of the poor lady whom we love shall be again free.
Tell me, what am I to do?
Take this stake in your left hand, the hammer in your right.
Yes.
Place the point over the heart.
Yes.
Then, when I begin the prayer for the dead, in God's name strike. Are you ready? Now, Domini Jesu Christe, Fili de vivi, qui manus tuas ex voluntate Patri.
On the morning of July 11th, a man was found on the border of Transylvania. He talked wildly of wolves and boxes of earth and blood, and gave his name as Jonathan Harker. In the hospital of Klausenberg, he improved sufficiently to make possible his removal to England. I'm still quoting from my own personal papers. But there his condition remained so serious that he was committed for observation to a private ward in my hospital at Purfleet. Here he did so well that in 3 weeks he was completely recovered. It was during this time that his wife, Minna Harker, brought to the attention of Dr. Van Helsing and myself the journal that her husband had kept while a prisoner in the castle of a certain Count Dracula in Transylvania. I have before me the record of a meeting that took place in my study in Purfleet, transcribed by Minna Harker.
October 1st. Meeting began soon after 8. Jonathan next to me. Dr. Seward opposite to Van Helsing at the head of the table.
My friends, there are such things as vampires. Had I known at first what now I know, one so precious life had been spared to many of us who love her. The vampire which is amongst us is of himself so strong that he can direct all the elements. The storm, the fog, the thunder. He can command all the meaner things, the moth and bat, the owl and the fox and the wolf. How, then, are we to begin our strike to destroy him? How shall we find his place? And having found it, how can we destroy? My friends, it is a terrible task that we undertake. To fail here is not mere life or death. If we fail, we become as him. Foul things of the night, as him. What do you say?
I answer for myself.
Come in. I'm with you.
The professor laid a small golden crucifix on the table. We took hands, and our solemn pact was made.
My friends, we too are not without strength. The vampire flourishes on the blood of the living. Without this, he cannot live. He throws no shadow. He makes no reflection in a mirror. He can transform himself to a wolf, to a bat. He can come on moonlight rays as elemental dust. He can see in the dark. He can do all these things. Yet he is not free. His power ceases at the coming of the day. Then, until night, he must remain in the shape in which he finds himself, and except in his coffin home, in those earth boxes, he cannot rest. When we can confine him in his coffin, then, my friends, if we obey what we know, we will destroy him.
At that moment, something flapped wildly against the window, then...
Did you hit it?
I don't know.
We looked out of the window. Against the black sky, we could see nothing.
Data in our possession. From the Count's castle in Transylvania to Whitby came 50 boxes of earth. All of these, to our certain knowledge, were delivered at Carfax. Recently, 12 of these boxes have been removed. First step, ascertain whether all the rest remain in the deserted house next door or whether any more have been removed. We must trace each of these boxes and sterilize the earth with holy water so that he can no longer seek safety in it. And we must hurry.
The events of the next few days are described in Jonathan Harker's journal.
October 2nd, 5 a.m. Just returned from the empty house. Left Mina here at home. Well, we've done our work at Carfax. The place was filthy. The air stagnant and foul and alive with rats. We counted the boxes. Only 38 of them. And over each one, the professor went through his same mysterious work. It was dawn when we got back. I found Mina asleep. She looks paler than usual.
October 2nd. Soon after they left, I fell asleep. I remember hearing the sudden barking of the dogs. And then there was silence. I got up and looked out of the window. There was a thin streak of white mist moving across the grass along the wall of the house. It dawned on me that the air in the room was heavy and dank and cold. The gaslight came only like a tiny red spark through the fog. I could see through my eyelids. The mist grew thicker and thicker. Then, as I looked, the spark divided and seemed to shine on me through the fog like two red eyes.
You shall be flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood, blood of my blood.
October 2nd, 8 p.m. We're on the track. 12 boxes were delivered last week to an empty house at 347 Piccadilly.
My dear friends, until the sun sets tonight, Dracula must retain whatever form he now has. We have this day to hunt out all his lairs and sterilize them. Then he will have no place where he can move and hide. But we have only until sunset.
The house in Piccadilly was empty, like the one at Purfleet. The same sickening smell was in the air. On a table we found a clothes brush, a brush, and a comb, and a basin. The latter containing dirty water, which was reddened as if with blood.
The boxes are back here. 8, 9, 10, 11. Only 11. There's a 12th box somewhere.
Gentlemen, it is after 6. The sun is setting. We've no time to lose. He will return at any moment. Open the boxes.
Quiet. Listen. Be ready. It is he! The window!
You waste your bullets, gentlemen. You think you baffle me? You with your pale faces all in a row like sheep in a butcher's. You think you've left me without a place to rest. But I have more. And time is on my side. The one you love is mine already. I have known her. Already my mark is on her throat. Flesh of my flesh. Blood of my blood. She is with me always. Over land or sea.
We must find that last remaining box, gentlemen. We must find it. As long as that earth exists impure, as long as there remains one place of refuge for Dracula, there is no safety and no peace for any soul in England.
And for the undead, never peace so long as he lives. Blood of my blood. Blood of my blood.
Mina! How do you know that?
Quiet.
With me always. Over land and sea.
Mina, darling, how did you know that Dracula said those...
I don't know. The words just came. Strange. There are times when somehow I feel that I'm with him.
At sunset?
Yes. Just at sunset. And again at sunrise. Dr. Van Helsing, if I could... If at that time you...
Have you the carriage?
Carriage for what? What do you mean?
Dr. Van Helsing here will question me.
I will question her, yes. In a state of hypnosis. The one you love is already mine, he said. She is with me always, over land or sea. Count Dracula. Perhaps she will betray you if she is really with you, this one we love. Who knows? If she is really with you over land or sea.
Blood of my blood.
Mina.
Yes?
Answer me, Mina. Are you with him?
Yes, I am with him.
Where are you?
I do not know.
It is all dark.
What do you hear?
The lapping of water. I can hear it on the outside.
Then you are on a ship.
Yes.
What else do you hear?
There is the creaking of an anchor chain.
What are you doing?
Still. Oh, so still. It is like death. It's like death.
Here's a report from Matson Peabody, shipbrokers. Dated October 5th, according to Lloyd's list, the only sailing ship that left for the Black Sea yesterday was the Tsarina Katrina, bound for Varna. Some hours before she sailed, a man came alongside, all in black, driving a cart with a great box in it. This he lifted down single-handed and carried below. No one remembers having seen him after that, as heavy mist came up over Doolittle Dock until sailing time. The rest of London Harbor remained completely clear.
Our plans are made. The average sailing time from London to the Black Sea is 3 weeks. We can travel overland to the same place in 3 days. We shall be there waiting for him when he arrives.
October 15th, arrived Varna about 5 o'clock. Mina seems stronger. Every morning before sunrise and just before sunset, she speaks to Van Helsing in a trance.
Are you with him, Mina? Tell me, are you with him?
I am with him.
What can you see?
Nothing. All is dark.
What can you hear?
I can hear the waves lapping against the ship and the water rushing by. The wind is high. I can hear it in the shrouds when the bow throws back the foam.
So, the Tsarina Katrina is still at sea, hastening on her way to Varna. The Count cannot cross running water, so he cannot leave the ship without being observed.
What do you hear, Mina?
Lapping waves, rushing water, darkness and wind.
A whole week of waiting. Daily telegrams from Lloyd's.
Not yet reported.
Rushing water and creaking masts. Darkness and wind.
October 24th. Telegram. Lloyd's, London to Harker. Tsarina Katrina reported this morning. From Dardanelles. Lloyd's, London to Harker, October 28th. Tsarina Katrina in heavy fog reported entering Galatz Harbor at 1 o'clock today.
Galatz is 38 hours from here, and the first train for Galatz leaves at 6:30 tomorrow morning. My friends, we have lost.
Evening. We are due between 2 and 3 in the morning, but already at Bucharest we are 3 hours late.
Something is going on. I can feel it passing like a cold wind. I can hear far off confused sounds. Men talking in strange tongues. Tears falling water and the howling of wolves. There's another sound. Queer sound.
Like what? Speak, Mina. Speak, I command you. I command you to speak.
Arrived in Galatz. Saw Captain Tsarina Katrina.
A man come aboard with an order an hour before sunup to receive a box for a party by the name of Dracula. Not his peppers, or eat. Emmanuel Hiddlesheim, his name was.
Mr. Hiddlesheim?
Yes.
You unloaded the box yesterday.
I gave the Kyloff by order. Kyloff.
Mr. Kyloff?
Hey, look. This morning they find him dead inside the churchyard of St. Peter. They find him dead with his throat torn open.
October 30th evening. There are 2 ways in which Dracula can get back to his own place. by land or by water.
We've examined the map and find the most likely river is the Sereth.
You and I, Seaward, will charter a steam launch and follow him up the river. Van Helsing and Mina will take the train to Veresti, and from there they will
From there we shall go in the track where Harker went from District over to Borgo. If you have not caught him before, we shall be awaiting Dracula there.
Here, and we start in an hour. Our enemy is still on the river.
October 31st. We can run at good speed up the river at night. There's plenty of water, and the banks are wide apart.
November 1st, evening. No news all day. We hear that a big boat went up the river before us, going at more than usual speed.
November 4th. All-day driving. The country gets wilder as we go. By morning, we shall reach the Borgo Pass.
November the 4th, evening. We've left the launch. We've got horses, and we follow on the track along the river. We are armed.
Look! Quick! There they are now! Heading west!
With the dawn, we could see the Slovaks some miles before us, dashing along the river with their wagons. On it is the great box.
Van Helsing, look!
We could see a long ray all around us. Far off, beyond the white waste of snow, was the river like a black ribbon curling. Between us and the river, not afar off, came a group of men, mounted Slovaks hurrying along. In the midst of them was a wagon which swept from side to side. On the wagon was a great box.
Look!
We see two horsemen following fast, coming up from the south. Now the horsemen are not more than a mile behind. Now the wagon is quite close to us. We can see the great box swaying gracefully. Now they are almost upon us. Now has happened a strange thing. The wagon smashed into a great rock bed in the snow, lost its front wheels, and turned over on its side, jammed against the stone. The horses tore loose from their traces and bolted, and the Slovaks scatter and vanish after them. Then silence. Silence like comes after ringing a bell.
Look. His face.
It is Dracula. Sprawled out stiff and twisted in the smear of his own holy earth. The box, in falling, has emptied the dirt onto the snow. His face is old-looking. The skin is like paper. Dr. Seward, there's no time. Look at the sun.
Sunset.
In 1 minute there is darkness and he is forever lost to us. Have you the stake of wood and the hammer?
Here.
Now, Seward, pray for us. Kneel down and pray. Harker, the stake of wood over his heart. Be not afraid, Harker. Do not look into his eyes. The hammer. Now, Harker, strike. Strike!
Flesh of my flesh. Guilt of my guilt. Death of my death. Speak and be manifest in the instant of your master's peril. Elements of darkness, rain, evil winds, mist, and mold, and tempest.
Fight!
The others couldn't. But somehow I can hear him speaking behind his eyes.
Claw, wing, tooth, scale, tissue of flesh, death of my death, dead and undead. The hand of the living is over your master. Console him, my children. This instant is no longer than the space between two heartbeats. But the night is not here, and I am lonely. Come to your master, my children. Beguile him now in the instant of his peril. Beguile him with the sound of your names. Claw, wing, tooth, issue of flesh.
Strike, Harker, strike!
There is one very dear to me who has not answered. My love. Mina. There is less than a minute between me and the night. You must speak for me. You must speak with my heart.
Give them to me! Jonathan, give them to me! That stick of wood and the hammer!
Arthur!
I shall never forget that moment. The look on poor Mina's face as she stood there, the angry scar standing out on her throat, her eyes like living coals in the last red of the sunset. She had torn the stake and the hammer out of my hands with the strength of an animal.
Mina, do you know what you've done, woman? You know what you've done to us? You've released him, the evil is free. Look!
The sun! As we looked down at Dracula, the eyes saw the sinking sun, and the hate in them turned to triumph.
Flesh of my flesh, come to me, my love. Come into the night and the darkness. You have served me well, my love. My bride.
Ladies and gentlemen, all the evidence in this case is now before you. I've added nothing. And to the best of my knowledge, I've omitted nothing that might help to throw light on the extraordinary events of the year 1891, which culminated on that terrible evening in the Borgo Pass. There remains only this one last report.
When Mina Harker seized the stake and hammer from her husband, I believe she was under some form of hypnosis. She herself remembers nothing. But whatever influence was at work on her, she must, at the last moment, have rejected it. For at the exact instant the sun disappeared, it was Mina Harker who drove the stake through the heart of the thing that called itself Dracula. At that same instant, even as we looked, the wound on the side of her throat was no more. As for Dracula, before the scream of the creature had died from our ears, the whole body crumbled into dust and passed from our sight. In the final moment of dissolution, there was in the face a look of peace, such as I never could have imagined might have rested there.
Tonight's production of Dracula by Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater was the first of 9 CBS broadcasts in which this brilliant group will bring to life a series of great narratives. In the cast tonight, Dr. Van Helsing was played by Martin Gable, Jonathan Harker by George Coulouris, Dr. Seward by Orson Welles, the Russian Captain by Ray Collins, the Mate by Carl Swenson, Mina Harker by Agnes Moorehead, Lucy Westenra by Elizabeth Farrer, and Count Dracula by Orson Welles. Bernard Herrmann composed the original music and conducted. Dan Seymour speaking.
That even scared me. So, how's your Halloween going? The fact that you're spending it with me shows me that you really know how to live. Well, more or less. Poor choice of words there. Anyway, all I have to do now is go into my closet and select my outfit. Now, let me see what I have in the closet here. Let's see, 365 black capes and hats. I hate leap years when I have to wear the same outfit twice. Anyway, we veer out of our horror formula for a science fiction show. On October 30th, 1938, the night before Halloween, Orson Welles' Mercury Theater broadcast what is arguably the most famous radio broadcast of all time, H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds, which caused a well-documented panic in many parts of the country. Many listeners thought that an invasion from Mars was actually underway on Halloween night. Many radio stations still replay that program. As always, I defy convention and present the Lux radio version from 1955, starring Dana Andrews.
Welcome to
to Hollywood. The Armed Forces Radio and Television Service brings you the Hollywood Radio Theater, starring Dana Andrews and Pat Crowley in War of the Worlds. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Irving Cummings.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are going to take a look into the possible frightening future, as though the present weren't bad enough, and see what might happen if our Earth were invaded by another planet. It's George Pal's production for Paramount, War of the Worlds, and our stars are Dana Andrews and Pat Crowley. Now Act One of War of the Worlds, starring Dana Andrews as Clayton and Pat Crowley as Sylvia.
No one would have believed in the middle of the 20th century that human affairs were being watched keenly and closely by intelligences greater than man's. Yet across the gulf of space on the planet Mars, intellects vast and cool and unsympathetic regarded our Earth with envious eyes, slowly and surely drawing their plans against us. Mars is more than 140 million miles from the sun, and for centuries it has been in the last stages of exhaustion. The inhabitants of this dying planet looked across space with instruments and intelligences of which we have scarcely dreamed, searching for another world to which they could migrate. Their nearest world was giant Jupiter, where the atmospheric pressure is thousands of pounds to the square inch. They could not go there. Nor to Saturn, nor to Pluto, planets encased in eternal ice. They could not go to Neptune or Uranus, twin worlds in eternal night, and surrounded by unbreathable atmospheres of methane gas and ammonia vapor. They could not go to Mercury. Its temperature is that of molten lead. Of all the worlds that the intelligences on Mars could see and study, only our own warm Earth was green with vegetation, bright with water, and possessed a cloudy atmosphere eloquent of fertility. It did not occur to mankind that a swift fate may be hanging over us, that it would come at the time of our nearest approach to the orbit of Mars, that it would begin in or over the mountains northeast of Los Angeles, California, on a pleasant summer evening.
Claudio, this is Pine Summit Lookout. I got a smoke.
Okay, what you reading?
Azimuth, 160 degrees, 30 minutes. Right where that meteorite just hit. Did you see it?
Not me, but a couple of the guys did. Must have been a pretty big fireball.
Big. I never seen anything like it. Hey, look, you better get a pump truck over there before the fire gets really going.
Will do.
Truck number 3 to D.O. Number 3 to D.O.
D.O. to number 3. How you coming?
Still pumping water on the fire, but it's under control. Unless this meteorite heats things up again. Over.
You mean it's still red hot? Over.
Red hot is right. And as big as a barn. Over.
Were you kidding?
I said big as a barn. Mac, I think somebody ought to take a look at it. Might be something for those astronomers down at Palomar. Over.
Maybe there's some guys even closer. The station at Pine Summit reported there were a couple of fellas camping up there. Said they were scientists.
Yeah? What kind? You don't want any butterfly experts or lizard specialists. Over.
I got you. Stand by and I'll check Pine Summit.
No butterflies or lizards. Just brook trout, yes. I'm Chief Fry Cook.
They sure smell good, don't they?
There's plenty if you'd like to join us.
I'd like to, but I got to get back to Lookout. What I really meant was, didn't you two tell me you were scientists from Pacific Tech?
Mm-hmm. Dr. Bilderbeck is one of the country's top biochemists.
Then he wouldn't know about meteors.
That's your department, Clayton.
The district officer phoned us at the summit. Want us to have an expert look at that meteor. Landed about 10, 12 miles from here over by Linda Rose.
Well, I thought we could tell much about it tonight. Probably won't be cool enough to touch for hours yet. Maybe not till morning.
And in the morning, I'm due back at the lab.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. All right, I'll stay over. Perhaps in the morning the district officer can fix me up with a lift to Linda Rosa.
How about me?
You?
Sure. My relief's coming up first thing tomorrow morning. I'd kind of like to get a look at that meteor myself.
Good. That's a deal.
Professor?
Yes?
Those trout do smell awful good, don't they?
Change your mind?
Yeah. My wife always said my strongest point's my weakness. Well, what do you know? Look at all them cars.
Yeah. Sightseers already.
Yeah, one of them's the sheriff. That's his car parked on the fire break.
Hi. Fiddler, up here.
Well, that ranger waving at us?
Yeah, that's Smith. Coming! The meteor sure plowed the tops off those trees, didn't it?
That's odd. They don't usually hit at such an oblique angle.
Hey, Smith, where is it?
Down here in the gully. That's it down there. Half buried under all that loose earth.
Still smoking.
You bet it is. You could fry eggs on it.
Ooh, really is big as a house, isn't it?
Hey, I wouldn't get too near that thing. It'll scorch you.
Oh, thanks. I'll bear that in mind.
Did you see it come down?
Did I see it?
Yes. My uncle and I were coming out of the movies last night just when it flashed across the sky. We heard the explosion when it hit here.
That's what I don't understand. Why, a meteorite that size didn't make a bigger crater.
Well, the ranger told us a scientist is coming over from Pacific Tech. He'll be able to tell you. He knows all about meteors.
Well, he does? Really?
He's top man in astro and nuclear physics. Clayton Forrester. Well, you must have heard of him.
It appears that you have.
Well, I did a thesis on American scientists when I was working for my master's degree. Forrester was the man behind the new atomic engines. One of these days he'll win the Nobel.
He isn't that good.
He certainly is. I think that if you knew
him... I do know him. That is, slightly.
Oh? What's he like? I mean, as a man.
Well, for one thing, when he goes hunting or fishing, he never shaves. After 4 or 5 days, he looks about as fuzzy as I do.
Oh, you're Dr. Forrester?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, I'm Sylvia Van Buren.
How do you do?
Very well, now that I've met thee, Dr. Clayton Forrester. Come on, I want my uncle to meet you.
Oh, but I...
please, he's just over there talking to the sheriff.
All right, you in.
Well, they won't be able to haul this one off to a museum.
They certainly won't.
Uncle Matthew.
Yes, my dear?
I want you to meet Dr. Clayton Forrester, the astrophysicist. Dr. Forrester, my uncle, Dr. Collins, pastor of the community church.
Oh, I'm so glad to know you, Dr. Forrester.
How do you do, sir?
Hey, Sheriff. Look here.
Yeah, what's wrong?
Borrowed this Geiger counter off a guy that just come out here looking for uranium. Listen to it.
Mind if I try that a moment, Ranger?
Oh, no, here you are.
Now, let's point the pole meter toward the gully.
See what I mean?
It's the meteor, all right.
It's radioactive?
Apparently. But why? Beyond me.
You mean there's no record of anything like this happening before?
No, I've never heard of it. Now, maybe I'll stick around until that thing cools off. Dr. Collins?
Yes?
Where's a good place in town where I could shave and clean up a little bit?
Well, the best place is my house, Dr. Forrester. Sylvia and I'd be delighted if you'd stay with us.
Well, I wouldn't
Of course you will.
But it may be until tomorrow.
It's settled, Dr. Forrester. And if you're wondering how on earth you can put in your time in a place like Linda Rosa, there's a square dance tonight.
All right, I surrender. Sheriff.
Yes?
If that meteor is radioactive, you'd better keep people away from it. There might be very dangerous radiations.
Yeah, that's so, yeah. Okay, I'll post a couple of deputies. Is there anything else?
No, but if you need me, you know where to find me.
Yeah, sure. I'll be there myself at the square dance.
Sure. You know, dancing is something I don't get much time for.
Why, you should make time. Don't your girlfriends like to dance?
I don't have much time for them either, I'm afraid.
Dr. Forrester.
Oh, evening, Sheriff.
I was just talking by radio phone to one of my deputies out at the media. He says it's pretty well cooled off.
Good. Then we'll look at it again in the morning.
All right. I'll call my deputies back and tell them to come on in. No tourists out there this time of night. And Saturday night is Saturday night, you know.
Hey, Salvador.
Yes? What did he say?
Sheriff says to come on in.
Oh, good. Maybe we go have a beer, huh, Alonso?
Just a minute. Alonso. Yeah, it's coming from that meteor. It's moving! Something is moving on top of it. It's turning. It's no meteor. Alonso, hit the dirt. Hey, he's coming right up through that opening in the top. Like a snake. Yeah. Or a periscope like a cobra's head, only it's metal, some kind of green metal with eyes. He's turning all around. What's he looking for? Maybe us. Maybe. Look, Salvador, this could be some sort of enemy sneak attack. We gotta radio the sheriff. Yeah?
But we don't let it see us, huh?
No, we crawl along this ditch till we get near the patrol car and make a run for it, right?
Maybe. Let's go.
Shh, quiet. It sees us. Run, we gotta run. He's looking right at us.
Hey, the lights. Who turned off those lights?
Now, wait, don't get panicky, folks.
Sylvia, Dr. Forrester.
Yes, Uncle Andy.
Over here, Dr. Collins.
Good. Nothing to be alarmed about. You know, at midnight they always play Goodnight Ladies and turn out the lights. I think they're just ahead of time.
Well, let's check our watches. Let's strike a match.
Let's see, I have 11:20. No, my watch has stopped.
Well, that's strange. So's mine. Dr. Forrester?
Yeah? Mine, too. Well, there's only one explanation. All our watches must have been magnetized.
But how?
Here we are, folks. Here's candles for everybody. Light them up.
Oh, Sheriff.
Yeah?
Do you happen to have a pocket compass?
Pocket compass? Sure.
May I see it, please?
Yeah, right here. All right, now what?
Well, let's look at it.
I'll be hanged, but that needle isn't pointing north.
No, it isn't. It's pointing almost due west. Right to where that meteor came down.
Sheriff? Hey, where's the sheriff?
Yes, what is it, Fiddler?
Oh, hey, come take a look outside. There's a big fire out in the hills.
Is it west of town?
Yeah, due west. The reddest looking blaze I ever saw.
Sheriff, I hope your car is outside.
It sure is. Come on.
Yeah, there's the reason the lights went out. Power line's down.
Yeah. It's funny. Alonzo and Salvador were going to go back into town, but there's their car right over there.
And they must still be around.
Yeah. Alonzo! Salvador!
Sheriff, turn your flashlight over there, along that ditch.
Where?
Right over there. Those two white mounds in the ditch. Are those ashes or...
Good Lord.
Oh.
Nothing left but The outlines. Listen, what in the blazes?
Now, quick!
Did you see it?
Yes. It's fantastic.
Oh, look, we've got to get word back to town. There's a transmitter in my car.
You had a car, Sheriff.
But Forrester, what is it? What kind of a gizmo is that thing?
Oh. Until a minute ago, I'd have sooner believed in fairies, witches, and ghosts. But now I think that gizmo is a machine from another planet.
Forrester, look! Coming over those mountains there.
A second meteor, just like the first. Sheriff, we've got to get word to the military right away.
Yeah, sure, but they'll never believe us. What will we tell them?
Tell them the truth. That we're under invasion from outer space.
We'll have Act 2 of War of the Worlds in a moment.
On the double there.
Hey, here come the tanks!
I send the area under the control of the United States Marines from El Toro Base. Colonel Ralph Hefner, commander. The gully where the machine landed is almost surrounded, and... Oh, there's the man we want to hear from. Dr. Forrester.
Yes?
Would you give us your opinion, sir? Are these meteor machines from Mars?
Well, they're certainly from some planet other than our own.
Directly into the microphone, please, Doctor.
Well, if they are Martians, I'm sure the creatures that operate these machines must be quite uncomfortable in our heavier air and with the Earth's much stronger gravitational pull.
What do you think they look like, sir?
That's anybody's guess. We do know from animal evolution on this planet that it's possible they may have more than one brain, perhaps two or even more. And possibly they may even smell colors.
Smell colors?
Well, that's speculation, of course.
Forrester.
Yes?
Colonel wants you in the command post.
Oh, coming. If you'll excuse me, please.
Certainly, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Clayton Forrester, head of astrophysics at Pacific Tech.
Forward observation post is on this hill. The recoilless 75s are back here, Carbon Canyon.
Colonel Hefner.
In a moment, Forrester. Command, Hefner. Yes, that's right, Captain. 2 rocket batteries on Hill 17 right now. Forrester?
Yes?
I want you to meet General Mann. He's in charge of intelligence for the Pacific area. General Dr. Clayton Forrester.
I've heard quite a bit about you, Forrester. Glad you're with us.
I hope I can be of some help, General.
You can. First, let me brief you on the latest reports. 2 machines have landed near Fresno, another outside Sacramento, 2 down on Long Island. They're outside London. They're in Naples. 1 in Santiago, Chile.
Oh. Seem to be coming down at random.
It's too soon to know. But apparently that machine out there in the gully was the first down.
The lead ship, maybe?
Very likely. And the second one is exactly 2 miles due north. As I understand it, Forrester, you actually saw the first ship send out that destructive ray.
Yes, I did. That was an intense heat and light.
2/3.
Almost as powerful as the sun.
Atomic power?
Yes,
Yes, I'd say so. Some sort.
General.
Yes, Colonel.
That was a relay from the Pentagon. Santiago, Chile radios it's under attack. 2/3 of the city already destroyed.
2/3?
Yes, sir. But nothing like that can happen here, sir. We're ready for them.
Listen.
Is that it?
Yes. Let's get to the observation post now.
Lights out! Cut all lights!
Lights off! Lights off!
Lights! Lights!
Keep your head down, General. Now focus your field glasses between these sandbags.
Yes.
You see the gully?
There's a greenish light glowing over it. Wait. Something's rising.
Like a periscope?
Yes. And beneath that, a greenish machine. almost round. Just floating there in the air without propellers or jets.
It must be supported by some sort of rays. Probably a kind of magnetic flux. They must be keeping the opposing poles in balance, and that lifts the machine.
There's a second machine. And a third.
Dr. Forrester! Dr. Forrester!
Miss Van Buren, what are you doing?
Uncle Matthew insisted on coming, and I wouldn't let him by himself. Dr. Forrester, you've got to talk to him.
Miss Van Buren.
Please. You've got to stop him. He wants to go out and talk to those meteor machines.
All right, take me to him.
Uncle Matthew keeps saying we should try to make the Martians understand we're willing to be friends.
If they give us a chance to be.
I know. But Uncle Matthew says it's his duty as a minister, a man of God.
So where is he now?
I left him right about here. Uncle Matt? Uncle Matt!
Forrester, the machines are advancing. There's some fool out there walking to meet them.
Oh, no.
Uncle Matt! Uncle Matt!
It's too late now. You can't save him.
Artillery batteries, fire! Rocket batteries, fire! Cease fire!
Forrester, they're still there. They're untouched.
They've put up some sort of electromagnetic covering. A transparent dome that stops the shell.
They're coming at us! All batteries, repeat fire!
Well, it's impossible. One moment I got heavy artillery, tanks, and rockets, whole batteries of 105s, and then that ray hits them, and there's nothing. Nothing. Just a puff of ashes.
Well, now we know why 2/3 of Santiago was destroyed. Why, but not how.
I think I know, General. That heat ray neutralizes the mesons. Mesons are the atomic glue which holds all matter together. They're cut across their lines of magnetic force, and any object will simply cease to exist.
Uh-huh. And just how do we defend ourselves against it?
Not with shells and high explosives, I can tell you that. Take my word for it, General. You'd better talk to Washington about uranium and hydrogen bombs.
Here they come. Here they come!
Come on, let's get out of here.
Everybody out! All commands pull back north of Highway 60 Tunnel Bunker! Come on, hurry it up! Everybody out!
Miss Van Buren. Sylvia. Wake up. Let's not spend all morning in this cellar pit.
Oh. How long have we been here?
Well, since the Jeep ran out of gas, I guess about 3 hours. As near as I can figure it, we're somewhere southwest of Corona.
And that machine?
Well, it's gone. It headed in the other direction.
Oh, thank heavens. You know, I'm hungry.
Well, you ought to be. Come on. On your feet now. There's a farmhouse across that field. Looks like the people took off in a big hurry. But maybe they left some food.
Look, over the mountains.
Yeah. A good old Air Force.
They found one of the machines. They just disappeared. In midair.
Yeah. Well, it isn't going to do any good thinking about it. Let's hit for that farmhouse. Uh-huh. There are times when there's nothing so beautiful, so soul-satisfying as bacon and eggs.
And the people who lived here were so thoughtful to leave us some. Where's your plate?
Right here. You know, I get most of my meals in coffee shops. It's pretty tame eating.
Well, don't you live at home?
No, I live on the campus. You see, I haven't any family.
Oh, I come from a big one. There's 9 of us, all in Minnesota except me. Well, Dr. Forrester? Aren't you going to sit down? There is a kitchen table.
Oh, yeah. Well, a big family must be fun. I imagine it makes you feel, well, as if you belong to something.
It does. Maybe that's why I feel kind of lost right now.
Yeah, I know. But everything's going to be all right, Sylvia.
Is it?
Well, at least we've got to think that.
Whatever they are, they murder everything they see. Everything that moves. We're helpless.
Sylvia, every creature that has ever lived has had some sort of weakness. Not one of them has ever been invincible. And somehow, we'll find the weakness of these Martians. Some way to stop them.
I hope so. I'll get the coffee. You know, I feel like I did one time when I was a little girl. I'd wandered off. I'd forgotten why. But I became awfully scared and lonely. Finally, I went to a church. I was afraid to go anyplace else. I stayed right by that door, praying for the one who loved me best to come by and find me. It was Uncle Matthew who found me.
I'm awfully sorry about him.
Oh, I loved him very much. Oh, I could bawl my head off.
But you're not going to. You're not the kind.
What kind am I?
The brave kind.
Clayton!
Get down, on the floor. Sylvia? Sylvia?
Yes, Clayton.
Are you all right?
Yes. Sounds right outside the kitchen.
It is. Sylvia, I've got to get a look at them.
Oh, no.
Shh. Don't you see? This is the first chance any human has had to get a real close-up of them. If I can tell General Mann and our scientists what kind of beings we're dealing with...
All right. But I'm coming with you.
Okay.
Wait. Take this.
What good is a carving knife?
Maybe none, but take it.
In the front room, come on.
See anything?
No.
Clayton, there's something behind me. Something touching my left shoulder.
I see it. Don't move.
The knife.
Don't move.
What did it look like?
I'd rather not say.
Your hands. What's that on your hands?
Blood. Martian blood. Sylvia. Sylvia, stop it. Stop it.
Clayton!
Come on, run for it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the benefit of those of you who don't know me, I'm General Mann of G2. I've asked you here because we desperately need the knowledge and skill of each one of you. Physicists, scientists, representatives of the 6th Army Command, the Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, the heads of our law enforcement agencies, the Civil Defense and Red Cross units. The Secretary of Defense in Washington has instructed me to give the whole picture of what has happened and what lies before us.
Let us through. I'd like to see General Mann.
Let us through, please, let us through.
What's all that commotion? Major, see what that is.
Yes, sir. General Mann. General.
Yes, Dr. Bilderberg.
That man is one of my colleagues, Dr. Clayton Forrester.
Forrester? We thought he'd been killed.
Let them through. Let them through.
Forrester. Miss Van Buren, we gave you up 24 hours ago. You almost had reason to, General.
Yes, the Martians tried to take us alive.
What? This morning, just outside of Corona. We managed to get away. We found an abandoned truck and drove to Pacific Tech. They told us you were here. Well, by any chance, is Dr. Lucille Dupre in this room?
Right here, Forrester.
Oh, good. Dr. Dupre, I want you to analyze the stain on this cloth. I suggest that you leave for the laboratory right away.
What kind of stain is it, Forrester?
The blood of a Martian.
Forrester, I want a complete report of your experience. First, I think you ought to hear what I was about to say.
By all means, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the latest radio message from the Department of Defense. To General Mann, Command Post Xenophon, Los Angeles. Scandinavia presumed now in enemy control. All communications from Sweden, Norway, and Denmark blacked out. Paris now under attack. French cabinet is transferred to Strasbourg. Madrid, totally destroyed. Rome, no further word, blacked out. London, blacked out. Buenos Aires, blacked out. Philadelphia, blacked out. New Orleans, blacked out.
General Mann?
Yes.
I've heard enough to convince me. Enough, I'm sure, to convince every physicist in this room. We must answer the enemy with our final weapon.
I was just coming to that, Forrester. By order of the Secretary of Defense and authorized by the President of the United States, the city of Los Angeles is to be defended by full atomic force. 3 hours from now, this afternoon at 1600 hours, the Flying Wing will drop the newest and most deadly bomb ever built, the thermonuclear bomb of octuple power. In 3 hours, we shall know its effectiveness and possibly the fate of mankind.
In a moment, Act 3 of War of the Worlds. We pause now for station identification.
The curtain rises on Act 3 of War of the Worlds, starring Dana Andrews as Clayton and Pat Crowley as Sylvia.
This report is being recorded on tape for future history. If there is to be any future history. The future of our civilization may well depend upon what happens here this afternoon.
Attention, please, attention. 3 minutes to bomb time.
In case you didn't hear that, it is now 3 minutes to bomb time.
Attention, Dr. Forrester. Please report to General Mann.
The target for the bomb is a nest of Martian machines in the Puente Hills. We are approximately 6 miles from the target. There is, however, a forward observation post which has the Martians clearly in sight and which will report back to this base by telephone.
You know, of course, that you're not supposed to be here.
Everyone else has told me that from General Mann down. But I'm only interested in where Clayton Forrester wants me.
Now, that is here.
Attention, please. 2 minutes to bomb time. 2 minutes.
Forrester.
Dupre, I thought you were back at the lab.
I just finished. That sample of Martian blood, Forrester. It's astounding. I've never seen blood crystals so anemic.
Anything else?
Yes. The structure of the corpuscles is...
Attention. The bomber is now approaching the target area. Prepare to take shelter.
Forrester, General Mann wants us in his dugout.
We're coming. We're coming. Watch your heads, everybody. There's not much clearance here.
Attention. 1 minute. 1 minute. If you have no goggles, turn your backs to the blast. Remember, the heat flash and concussion that follow are dangerous.
Well, General Mann.
Forrester, I want you to stand by for the first damage reports.
Certainly, sir.
Major, open the line of the forward observation post.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir. Observation.
Yes, sir.
The Flying Wing is now beginning its bomb run.
Yes, sir. General, those Martian machines throwing up some sort of a transparent dome over themselves.
That would be an electromagnetic shield.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Clayton,
Yes,
may I hold your hand?
of course.
20 seconds. Stand by. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, Attention! Prepare for heat wave and high velocity winds.
Observation. Can you see anything?
Not yet, sir. An awful lot of smoke. General, we can see something moving. They're still there. They haven't even been touched. They're still...
Observation. Come in. Observation, come in. Well, now we know the worst.
We may not be through yet, General. No, there's still a chance. A forlorn hope, maybe, that our sciences can search out some weakness in these Martians.
Yes. Perhaps biologically. That anemic blood.
Look, our battle now is for time. We've got to take our instruments and hide somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. Set up an emergency laboratory there.
I'm sure the Air Force stands ready to fly your equipment wherever you wish.
That's good enough for us. Bilderbeck, Dupre, you too, Sylvia. As soon as we get back to Los Angeles, we'll gather up all the things we need. And...
They're coming. They're coming.
Everybody out of here. Everybody out!
Attention. This is an official order of the 6th Army Command. Evacuate your homes at once. Take food and water and extra clothing with you. Highways have been marked to lead you to evacuation centers in the hills and along the beaches.
Wait here in the truck for me.
Forrester, bring only the sonic microscopes.
Okay. Which floor are they on?
The 10th, Forrester.
Hurry, Clayton.
Don't worry. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Those men, they're losers, robbing.
Boys, there's a truck. That's what we need.
Stop the engine! Stop the engine!
But Clayton!
We'll come back for him. Start him.
Get out of here. No. Come on, get out.
I told him to wait here. Couldn't have been more than 5 minutes. Sylvia! Bilderbeck! Dupre! Sylvia!
left you too, eh?
No. Something must have happened. They'll be back. Well, they were in a yellow truck. That was the truck.
Sir, I'll give you $1,000.
Huh? For what?
Your place in that truck.
Listen, I said they'll be...
2,000.
Look, I don't want anything from you.
5,000. I'm rich. I've got it right here. My wife, servants, everybody. They all ran off and left me. But you can have any amount you...
No, I'm sorry. Money's no good now.
10,000, sir. 10,000. Sylvia! You pray! 50,000.
Billyback!
Sylvia! 100. Everything I got. Everything.
Where can they be? Oh, ma'am, I'm looking for a girl. Tall, dark girl. She was driving a yellow truck and... Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, but she's lost. She's probably very frightened. Lost. She said the last time she was lost. When she was so frightened. Maybe that's where she went. The church. Sylvia! 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 Sylvia!
Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress.
Sylvia!
Clayton.
In him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver
Let me
thee
through.
from the snare of the
Let
fowler.
me through, please.
Dearest. Oh, my dearest.
He shall cover thee with
The mob. They took the truck, pushed us out in the street blocks from where you left us. I ran back, but you were gone.
It's all right now, Sylvia. It's all right.
Yes. We're together.
A 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand. But it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation.
Yeah.
There shall no evil befall thee.
Something's happening to that
Neither
machine.
shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling.
Come on.
For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways.
Look. There in the street, that body.
Yeah. That's one of them.
dying. They're dying everywhere.
We prayed for a miracle, and it's happened.
All over the world, in London, in Paris, in Rome, Rio de Janeiro, Melbourne, New York, and San Francisco, the terrible invasion began to collapse. The Martians had no resistance to the bacteria in our atmosphere, to which we have long since become immune. Once they had breathed our air, germs which no longer affect us began to kill them. The end came swiftly. After all that men could do had failed, the Martians were destroyed and mankind saved by the littlest thing which God, in his wisdom, had put upon this earth.
In a moment, our stars will return. Now, here's Mr. Cummings with our stars.
And here they are, Dana Andrews and Pat Crowley. Dana, how do you feel about planetary invasion?
Well, Irving, if I have a choice, I'd rather we invaded them. And now, how about next week's play, Irving?
Well, next week, it's an entirely different type of adventure, Dana. One of our 20 greats. A story of a search for gold by a trio of fascinating characters, and it's filled with suspense right up to the unexpected climax. It's Warner Brothers' The Treasure of Sierra Madre. And our stars will be Edmund O'Brien and Walter Brennan.
Oh, I'll have to listen to that, Irving. Good night.
Good night.
You are both great.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Well, that concludes our 400th Halloween radio horror special. I hope that you have had the misfortune to hear them all. Excellent. Until next time, pleasant dreams. Wish me luck, my dreary ones. Unhappy Halloween to everyone.
Penny Dreadful's Radio Horror Classics is produced by Ron Creepy Cabucio. Be sure to tune in next week for more Penny Dreadful's Radio Horror Classics.